we are at Cuthbert's Green, the start of the final, and the Winfield International Classic, and what a marvellous final it's going to be. We have Leslie King leading off for New Zealand against the young Chinese team with Li Hong Wang pitching the ball game. And a first pitch, a ball. Marshall, we're in for a tremendous international softball spectacle here. We expect to see a very, very close ball game between the young Chinese side and the very experienced Coco New Zealand team.
Well, it's amazing, Cheryl. The standard here has been higher than that at a World Series. Where do I do that? We had voice checks, I don't know.
Leslie King putting her hand up, just setting herself in the batter's box. And she's switch hitting. She's into the left-handed batter's box. Very experienced batter and leading off for New Zealand.
Okay, here we go.
Catcher's not too pleased with that pitch.
Cheryl, I've just charged in because we had a mic problem there. I've been raving away here, and apparently nobody's heard anything. But basically, I was saying that it is absolutely packed here. There are a few thousand folk. All we've done is lose the sun here at the moment. But what we've seen is 1 week of possibly the best softball ever played, because at World Series, there's lots of easy teams. But here, actually, there were none. So half the games played, in fact more than half, have been 1-0 softball games. It's been very entertaining, a great backdrop for the World Series in the United States next year. And the best news is New Zealand are in the final and are favored.
And this is interesting, Marshall. She's actually swapped in the left-handed batter's box, and what a great start for this young 21-year-old Li Hong Wang, pitching once again for the young Chinese team. She's done a tremendous workload inside and a good strikeout. What a marvelous way to start the game.
Actually, Cheryl, I think that's her hallmark, is that inside sort of jamming throw, isn't it? It's very hard to free your wrists with this gal.
Absolutely right.
She goes inside very, very well. Now, she is the reason that China are on here. They are #1. Has started a lot of games, has been hit about the park a bit, and then this young lady has not, I believe, she has not sort of allowed an earned run in 6 days of softball.
Tremendous effort. She's pitched something like 60 innings, and that's a lot of softball. Innings taken 55-odd strikeouts, only given up 20 hits, and certainly no runs across the plate with young Li Hong Wang pitching for China.
Oh, she is very much on the world scene after this week. You know, that is just amazing. So New Zealand have to hit her, and she hasn't been scored on yet this week. So when I say New Zealand is favored, New Zealand actually lost fewer games than China and ended up as the top qualifier and straight through into the final. But this girl is not allowed an earned run in a week of top-class world softball.
Seems interesting. Whenever she gets into a little bit of trouble, she throws the most amazing change.
There's a hit! There's a hit! Good hit! Line shot between first and second. Good balance on that. Saw it. I think it was a little bit outside.
And who better could you have as a base runner? Cutting at the ball, really holding on to the bat there, and excellent effort by second base Fang Yan. Safe at first base.
Right.
You couldn't have a better base runner than Rhonda Hera for New Zealand. She would be the quickest on the team, and certainly has scored plenty of runs for New Zealand.
Well, Hera has had a go at 4 steals and has been safe twice and out twice. Ooh, now I'm surprised about that, because Hazelwood is probably the best at sacrifice hitting on this side. Already she's had 5 sacrifice hits. That was an attempt at a sacrifice bunt then, and she won't be pleased. I think you could say that she has more grit than any other New Zealand player.
Very experienced player, Marshall. I would expect that Natalie will come around and do the job properly. Oh, that's a tough call. That's a tough call.
She thought it was low. We'll see in the replay here. Hazelwood left this bunt, got the bat around, and was sure it was low, and mother dear, if that wasn't low, I'll go he.
Well, it's like all good things. Umpires have to settle into ball games as well, Marshall, so the pressure will be on Natalie. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her attempt the bunt again. He may hit her away.
On third strike. Could be. We may have a steal from Hira. New Zealand will want to score early here. Outside. Hira stays at 1. There is Rhonda. It was a good lead then. But she is just controlled energy, this young woman. She can do it all in softball.
There we have it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A little bit of pressure on number 10, Natalie Hazelwood here. She'll want to move that run around to second base.
Oh, now that's a rare. It was the hit and run on. Hira is safe. Hazelwood had a big swing. And the job was done, not the way that Natalie Hazelwood would have wanted. Now this is Rhonda here. Look at her dig. Good slide now. Looks for the outside of the bag. Grabs a hold as she goes around. Safe on 2.
Now this is interesting, Marshall. Once again, the change-up under pressure, and any base runner is going to go on a change-up.
That's true, especially if it's down in the dirt like that. You're not doing your catcher any favor, so that was an easy ride for here. But here she is, our superstar. And I don't mind sort of saying that. It's very rare I do in softball, but here she is. It's Gina Weber in the box. Hira on 2 in scoring position. Now, Gina would love to give herself a lead here, wouldn't she?
Well, she's got 3 RBIs there, 3 runs batted in. She's a tremendous all-round softballer, and she loves being in the action. She absolutely delights in this type of pressure softball.
It's a hit. Shortstop, no, she bobbles it and then makes an out. That shortstop has made very few errors all week, and shortstop has a lip out there. Now, when this ball is hit out to short, the infield is excellent with the exception of a little dip out at shortstop, and it went into that dip and bounced up. It's just like a little bouncer there, and it's everyone's had a problem with it, but she had her body in back of it and made the vital out.
Well, perhaps the only failing here is Gina's speed, I would say, but we see a tremendous recovery here from the shortstop, Su King Lu. Here we have Fang Yan leading off for China, second baseman. Batting .256, 11 hits, 43 turns at bat. Basically what we're saying there is for every 4 trips to the plate, she normally gets 1 hit. And facing the awesome power of New Zealand's own Gina Weber. What a tremendous tournament this young lady has had for New Zealand. Marshall pitched 60-odd innings for New Zealand, only given up the 1 earned run and done the bulk of the work for New Zealand on the pitching mound.
Yes, well, what I was hoping for, we've got a packed crowd here, but we're not experienced at international softball crowd behavior. In other words, I mean, it's not as bad as Auckland down here, but the crowd is quiet. And what I was hoping for was a noisy crowd that would really lift this young New Zealand side. And at the moment, we've got thousands of spectators and very few cheerers. And what I was hoping for was a few early strikeouts by Gina to show the crowd, you know, that they're here to not only watch, but they're here to cheer. Now, this is a very tight game of softball. It's almost a raffle. Now, the crowd can play their part, but sadly, in New Zealand, we haven't learned that you don't come there. There's a hit. She'll have to hurry. King has it. Oh! Great attempt by Leslie King. She was charging it, but these Chinese are so swift at getting down to first base that she is safe. Now, this is exactly what New Zealand did not want to happen. Here's the ball hit down into the dirt. Great pickup. Look at that classy throw. Great throw. Just about a tie, but that should always be in favor of the runner, so good call at one. Now we've got big problems here, Cheryl. How's she going to pitch to this gal?
Well, this is a dream start. I think they're going to try and jam the batter up and let the ball come down to third base so that they can take that advanced runner, take Fang Yan at second base. We've got Chunlan Lee at the plate, and certainly she is got a very good record as far as sacrificing. And she's being very, very disciplined in the batter's box.
Okay, now we've just heard that the strategy is to get the lead runner out at second base. That's what New Zealand wants now. With the Chinese want to sacrifice this batter, but move the runner down to 2.
Well, this is a dream start for China. They'll certainly, their main priority will be to get this base runner down to second, to put her in a scoring position. And can young Chunlan Yi do it?
Well, we could see a walk here if we're not careful, and that's that would be really bad news.
Now, this is unusual, Marshall. We have a rise ball coming down, which is the hardest ball to actually get a called strike on. There we see it.
Oh, it's a hit. It's a hit through. Oh, and it's missed in left field. She'll score. No, they hold her up. Thank goodness. Right, well, New Zealand, this is what I meant about the crowd. Now, some of you spectators here, when you get home this evening and watch this game, you got yourselves to blame for this, I think, because you've just sat and watched. New Zealand's had a nervous start. She should have stopped that in left field. Luckily, the Chinese girl, they expected the ball to be stopped, so she was held up a bit at 2. But now we have second and third. No outs. Right, well.
And we have the young Chinese shortstop, Su King Liu, at the plate.
And all of the cheers that you just heard were from the dugout of China.
Well, New Zealand are desperate for an out here. If they're to stay in this ball game and not let it run away from them, we need to see the firepower of Gina Weber preferably take this batter at the plate.
Okay, but at the same time, it doesn't matter that much if she walks her. In other words, she's not to give her a really good strike. She's to go after the corners of the plate now. And as Cheryl says, attempt a strikeout, but at the same time, she doesn't want to give her a fat pitch that she can hit away. Anyway, it's 2 strikes. See if she can get the strikeout here. Good work by that batter guarding the plate.
Yes, she's showing that she's a force to be reckoned with. I think at the moment we're looking at about 5'4" versus 6'2" at the moment, Marshall.
Yes, but it's even up, although we're ahead on the count. See what this batter does. She may, ooh, just low.
That's a good pitch.
Very good. That's exactly what I mean about going after the angles in the corner. New Zealand have to get a strikeout here.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 quick moves.
Outside.
Now that's
2 and 2.
interesting that they're going to the outside of the plate with runners on 3 and 2. I would have thought they would have wanted to keep the ball on the inside of the batter, so it's going to third and shortstop, so they can hold that runner at third and still take the out.
That's what they needed, an easy fly to King. 1 down. All right, now see if they can work their way back. Again, the crowd, believe me, folks, should be better off at a funeral than a softball game at the moment. Now, there's the pop fly. An easy out to King, and that's 1 away, but 1 is still a long way from 3. And it's pretty important that the Chinese do not score here. Remember, most games that have been played over the last week have been 1-0 victories. Good strike. Now, we saw the signal then from Monk, the catcher. Now, our theory is to stay inside on these batters at the moment. Now, if you watch the catcher, there is Leslie Monk, the captain. She gives the signal. She wants it in. No. Good pitch. Strike two. What she's doing, Cheryl, which is important, is that she's getting ahead on the batters, isn't she?
Absolutely, and she's going around the strike zone. She's not putting anything in there that can be hit, and we can see why. 6 runs batted in. That's another powerful left-handed Chinese batter in there, Ying Wang. They'll be very happy to see a strikeout, a pop fly, or certainly a ball kept in the infield on this particular batter.
Well, it's all on here. This you
Well, it looks like another rise ball here, Marshall. There it is.
But you could say here that this might be the most vital stage of this whole game here.
This will give New Zealand a tremendous lift if they can get out of this situation now. I can see them going on to bigger and better things. Another rise ball.
Foul back. Actually, you can see why Cheryl is also a coach for New Zealand B, because for 1 week you've had to think positively, haven't you? They only won one, but Cheryl is playing her part by being very positive about this. I'm not so sure. These Chinese are really tough. I think New Zealand's going to be very lucky to get out of this innings without China scoring. Good cut, and she struck her out.
And I think that's why I've got one white eye on one black eye there, Marshall.
Well, if I was their coach, I would have gone for the squeeze bunt myself, just to get that 1-run lead.
Well, certainly, we like to think that when squeeze plays are called, they've actually got a good count on the batter. And by that, I mean that you've got 2 balls or 3 balls, so that you can guarantee that the pitcher's going to put a good strike in there.
Yes, that's a good point. Yes, she had got ahead, hadn't she? Which
and that
had
cuts
lessened
down the option.
Yep. But we also had a lot of speed on 3 at the same time, so, well, if the Chinese, if they don't score, that's what he'll be thinking. Should I have?
Now, this is interesting. They're going to intentionally walk by the look of things.
That's
the
smart.
next batter, which is left field, Chun Fang Shang.
I think that's smart, because what they're saying is then it's a forced play at all of the bases. They are saying, well, we are getting down in the order now. We don't expect a long ball hit out of the next batter. So let's load the bases, which means an easy out at any base.
Well, she's a 3-4-1 hitter, and that is excellent in this level of softball. So we can understand why they're putting her on first base.
I'd say that batting average means that she would be in the top 5 here at the championship.
Absolutely. In fact, I would say even higher.
Yeah, she probably is about the top batter here, so that's another excellent reason for walking her. Anyway, here we are. There are 2 outs. It's the first innings. There are bases loaded.
Right, we have Xu Fen Fang. And that's a respectable batting average as well. 227. She's only had 1 run batted in.
Nothing.
But that's still a respectable batting average. New Zealand need to keep a very tight hold on this particular inning. This is the time when they've got 2 down that they relax, and that's where problems start. There it is. Wait for it.
And she got the base. She got the base. An animal act by Leslie King, who once again has done it all. Now look, Nureyev would have been proud of that. In fact, I held my breath because I was sure the umpire was going to say her foot came off the bag. Now here we see it's over Gina Weber. King goes over, stabs it. Then after the ball hits her glove, she slides in to second base before the Chinese girl slides into second base. Now let's see this again. Anyway, what I love is the noise, because New Zealand have had a very shaky start here after a great week of softball, and they've been let off the hook. So come on, get behind them.
And here we have Fiona Timu, young batter for New Zealand, got a tremendous future in New Zealand softball. Batting 212 at the moment, which is very healthy batting average at this level. And Fiona's playing first base, where normally in Auckland, of course, she's a pitcher. So it's quite unusual to see her playing first base at this level.
I think she will hold her spot, though, Cheryl, after what I've seen this week. I would just leave her on 1.
I don't think there's any doubts. I'd like to see Fiona concentrate on her fielding.
Easy out. A reflex out. And one down.
Yes, jammed her up there. Lee Hong Wang, good pitch, does her own fielding, and we don't see any problems today with that left-handed fielding.
What is good is that she had moved the ball. You'll hear us using that expression a lot. It simply means that you don't strike out, that you have moved the ball, that you have moved the ball out into the field. And at this level, it's very important because it means that the pitchers don't get into a groove. If they get a few strikeouts, it really lifts a pitcher and a team. So it's important that New Zealand move the ball.
And here we have Nadi Clark, who's one of the most experienced players in the New Zealand side, ex-New Zealand captain. And Nadi actually had a bit of a mishap yesterday. One of her own players, they were having a throw round and got a ball in the mouth, and I understand chipped a tooth, Marshall.
Oh,
so she wouldn't
painful.
be very happy about that.
That can be very painful.
But a very experienced hitter for New Zealand and has won plenty of ball games in the international arena for them. Normally a right centre field hitter.
Yes, in fact, I think that's why she hits what we call the long ball. She's had a couple of three-base hits, which is good this week. We haven't seen a lot of extra base hitting. So the other thing about Nardi is that it's quite rare that she strikes out. Now, I'm not saying that to jinx her in any way. That's just a fact. She's got a good sense of the strike zone, as we saw there.
That's tremendous discipline, and that will be very helpful to Coach Ed Dollage. He'll want his batters to be in there and using good pitch selection. No use trying to perform on bad pitches.
No, that's right. Plus, of course, everyone's a bit tired after a week. Oh, Nardi was sure she missed the inside corner. We'll have a look on the replay of this, but that was good. In a way, she was asking the umpire to call her way too by throwing the bat. That must have been close. If she did get the corner, she wouldn't have got it by much.
Not at all. I think Nardi will probably be a little bit annoyed about that. Well, she's certainly protecting the plate there. She's not prepared to take a swinging strikeout or certainly a KC. She wants to move this ball. She's not prepared to take the chance that Mayhap Blue behind won't call it as Nardi sees it.
That's right. Well, it's a full count now. Nardi steps out, says, I'm not going to wait for you. You'll have to wait for me.
Marshall, I'm very, very impressed with this young Chinese pitcher, Lee Hong Wang. Done a tremendous amount of work during this tournament to get them through to the stage.
It's a line shot. Way out at first base. Just a reflex catch. She's blushing, actually, because that thing was a rocket. Just managed to get the glove up, but that's as hard a hit ball as we've seen through the infield. This is a terrific whack off the bat. Just gets the... In fact, she had to reach for that ball. I thought it was up right about eye level, but that was actually a beautiful dive off to her right. Great fielding. Now, that's just what the Chinese need. It's all go here. It's like the whole game in the first innings.
Now we've got Gabrielle Spark in the batter's box, who's not had a tremendous hitting tournament here, but certainly in Australia in October and in Taiwan in 1987. She was the top hitter for New Zealand, so she's hidden a little bit in this batting order. Let's see whether she can perform.
That's a hit! That's a hit!
Here it is!
The young Southlander hits it up against the fence! She'll go on to three! She's coming into three! And here's the slide! She's safe! Ball gets away, but she hangs on! Gabrielle Spark, who to me personifies something that's becoming really important in New Zealand sport, and that's a terrific sportsman who's prepared to stay in a place like Southland and play for her province rather than accept all the hype of up north. And look at this, off the bench. She hasn't played that many games. Comes on and powers the ball up against the fence in right field. Here comes the slide. Look at that grit. Look at that great South Island slide there. Boom, gets the ball loose. She went right in underneath. Look at the girl block the base with her foot. Now, as we saw there, the inside foot, we might be able to see the replay again. And we've seen a lot of this here, blocking the bag. In fact, you actually hear everyone saying you must block the bag. Well, no one ever told me I must block the bag. I mean, if you feel like it, you do it. But no coach is going to tell me to do this.
Well, she's obstructing there. She hasn't got the ball, and she's not allowing the runner to get into the base. You can see she still hasn't got the ball. Now she's getting it. That should be an obstruction straight away. But you can see that she's taken on the left shin there, probably about 9.5 stone, and that's a penalty for obstructing, Marshall, of the first order.
Definitely.
And we have Linda O'Kane in the batter's box, the new cap for the New Zealand team. What a tremendous opportunity it is for her.
She was going for it. Well, O'Kane is not her batting average.
And we can see the reason why Dollage has elected to bring in a new batter, even though she's got 1 strike on the batter.
Oh,
and
great
they're
stuff.
bringing in Aucklander, Donna Iwi, and what a tremendous opportunity. 2 down, 1 strike. She actually assumes the call of Linda O'Kane, who's already had 1 strike on her.
Yeah.
This is pressure batting at its absolute finest.
Yeah, this is very rare in softball. I mean, it's starting to happen a bit now, but it certainly was extremely rare. Now, what Cheryl means is that this gal has not warmed up. So Iwi is into bat just from being on the bench. I'm a little surprised with O'Kane because she had 2 sacrifices and 4 runs batted in. So O'Kane had been doing the job, but I believe that this is the young woman that's very important, even though she isn't batting here. But I think she's very important for the next World Series. So to back her now, if she happens to get a hit, which brings back her confidence, is a real plus for New Zealand. But a hard job for Donna Iwi.
The pressure is certainly on her.
Oh, the big cut there. The crowd is going very quiet here. This is high drama. Now it's strike 2 on Donna. Remember, her job at the moment is not to hit a long fly ball because it's 2 outs. She has to get a hit.
I guarantee she'll throw a change-up.
She did, boy, you picked it. You picked it, Cheryl. She threw the changeup. She knew she was tight there. Now, either you saw the signal. No?
This pitcher throws change-ups whenever she gets 2 strikes and into a pressure situation. It's what we call her bread and butter pitch. It's the one she can throw with confidence.
All right. Okay. Now, having said that, Cheryl, why didn't the coach tell Donna if he gets 2 on you, there's going to be a changeup? If Donna Iwi had picked that changeup, she might have given it a ride. Anyway, the result is top of 2, 0-all.
Well, Marshall, we've certainly got crowd participation now. In fact, I think they're probably going overboard. Conservative Canterbury's just gone crazy.
Well, you couldn't ask for more in the way of tension. I mean, what we've seen for 6 days is 1-0 ball games, which means that the games have been incredibly tight. Here we've seen bases loaded, 3 base hits, and it's only the 2nd innings.
In the batter's box, we've got Liu Jun leading off, the young centre fielder. And she'll certainly want to be putting her mark on the game. The rest of her teammates have certainly helped out. Not a tremendous batting average, but certainly capable of moving the ball. Oh, stand-up strikeout. Now that is a coach's nightmare, Marshall.
It's great for the crowd, too, now. Okay, here we see the big right arm coming around. Goes for the outside corner and gets it. Just caught that corner about knee level. Tough call, but you don't leave a pitch as close as that.
Okay, we've got right fielder Yong Hong Kwang in the batter's box. Once again, not a great batting average, 0.79, 3 for 38. Coach should certainly want to see somebody else in there, I wonder.
Well, either that or at the moment, she's a big gal, but I'd even ask for the bunt now. I would not want to see another strikeout by Gina, or look out, folks, you could see a long string of them if she pumps up at the moment. So if I was the Chinese, I would try very hard to move the ball.
And this is excellent pitching. Gina's certainly hitting a stride, and I think full credit to Leslie Monk. She's calling an excellent ball game from the catching position as well. Let's see what Leslie's going to call here. Well, it's a high inside ball, I think.
Actually,
and fouled off.
That stayed down. That was a very good pitch to hit. A little bit inside, but a good pitch to hit.
Leslie Monk been with the New Zealand team since 1977. Started as a 19-year-old that went on the 77 tour to Perth.
Good pitch, good pitch. Listen to the crowd now. Gina Weber is starting to pump up.
She's certainly getting these corners. They're going through. You can see Monk follows the ball down, and that's a great strikeout.
That's 3 strikeouts, and she's only, it's only the second innings.
And we've got the bottom of the order for China. First baseman, Xiao Yan Wang.
She got a piece
That's
of
a
it.
pretty healthy hit. That's a pretty healthy cut of the ball. They'll have to be a little bit careful here because it's quite usual to have your number 9 batter as a fairly strong batter.
Well, she's had only the 5 hits, but she's had 3 runs batted in, so she is a clutch batter. 9 strikeouts, though, so I fancy Gina here.
Yes, I won't bet against you on this one, Marshall.
I think the cloud is starting to lift, too. I think that could have a lot to do with the crowd behavior. We had very heavy cloud here before, but now it is becoming an absolute painting.
That's another KC now. That's not good international batting. One thing that we don't like to see our batters do is stand there.
Okay, here we go. Here's strikeout number 4 by Gina Weber.
And that's right there, Marshall.
Look at it head right curved to the outside there. Great pitching, and it's 0-all at the bottom of 2.
Here we've got the number 9, the sting to the tail, Leslie Monk. Well-respected batter, certainly in New Zealand softball, and 3 runs batted in. She would be an excellent lead-off runner for New Zealand at first base.
That's right. It's having her batting 9th is like having a double lead-off, because that's where she usually plays, and she's the captain. She's very reliable in the clutch, and it is clutch at the moment. The first team to score could well win this game, and New Zealand know her. They need the first runner on. As she left an outside pitch. Then that was called a strike.
A little bit of indecision there. I think she looked as if she was going to drop a bunt. There she goes down, and she froze on it.
Good. Getting ahead of the ball in. Nice clean hit. Pulled it well. Just fouled down the third base line. But Monk saw that ball early and well.
Now, Leslie Monk, of course, holds the bat right up near the fat part or the barrel part of the bat. Just before, you can see she's got a lot of the bottom of the handle there. That gives her better control, less head movement. Got her.
Actually,
Good pitch.
I've got to say, Cheryl, that is something I really resent in young players. Long-handled bats on young players really give me the willies. I mean, you get much more control if you go up top. Here's the strikeout on Monk, which doesn't happen all that often. Just swung underneath the ball.
We've got top of the order shortstop Leslie King here, and Leslie normally bats right-handed, but being such a versatile and top ball player, can bat either left or right-handed. We'll probably see if the count gets on top of her or more strikes, that she'll actually switch.
Well, we've got to say, Cheryl, that I think it was on Friday was the first time she went to bat left-handed. It was a vital stage of the game, and she hit probably the picture hit that we've had here, which is when you bat left-handed and slap it, what you want to do is hit it over the head of the second basewoman. And that's exactly what Leslie did. I mean, she must have been as amazed as everyone else, but it was a magnificent hit. So since then, she's used this batting on the left side of the plate.
Well, let's see. She's switching now. She's got 2 strikes on her. And she's now changing to the right-hand batter's box. She's a natural right-hand player.
But what we see is that she is from the American school system, and she's played an enormous amount of softball in the United States, so she has all of the basics down pat. Good hit, a foul ball, just foul, oh, hey. Now that was deserved then, and King went into one exactly how you should go into one. The ball was thrown badly. Now we'll see here, the ball is thrown inside to the first basewoman who has to reach in, and King goes into her. She's in complete rights here. She should not have to break her stride in going down to first base. Now that did injure the girl at one. She's still holding her wrist now.
I think both of them aren't feeling too healthy at the moment, Marshall. Leslie didn't look particularly comfortable either. But let's see, is she going to throw this change up again, knowing that she's got 2 strikes on her? There it is.
She picked it again, Cheryl. And once again, that was even a ball. That was outside, but she had King so fooled, and I can't understand why these New Zealand batters aren't expecting this change-up to come. This is bad coaching here.
Well, maybe we're seeing a little bit more up here than they are down there.
No, I mean, we know that that's her stock pitch, so no, it is not defensible here. That should be discussed before the game.
Right, Rhonda Hera, one of the stars of New Zealand team. Safe hit to right field last time, stole a base.
Great
Can she
pitch.
do it again?
That was right down the middle. Now, Hera, I would expect to go long handle here. It's 2 outs. She is capable of hitting the ball anywhere.
This is where you normally instruct your batter. We need a 2-base hit from you. We need you on second.
Up against the fence. Good eye, good eye. Hera just has such class, doesn't she? I mean, that combined with this wonderful agility. You know, she is the most exciting of our softball players.
It's unusual that they're actually thrown to the outside of the plate on that last pitch. I think they'll probably come back inside now. Yes.
Yes, jammer again. They risk. That was a big risk going to the outside.
Well, especially since she got a right field hit last turn at bat. I mean, she's quite comfortable hitting those outside pitches. We would expect that they'd try and jam her up and take a little bit of her power away, and that's why she stands off the plate quite a bit.
Yes, she's way at the back of the batter's box.
Very brave pitching here, going to the outside on Rhonda Hera. Mayhap they haven't seen the results of our national tournaments. I certainly have, Marshall.
You wouldn't throw it to her there anyway. Yes, oh boy. Hera was definitely tempted. I think she was surprised that she threw it there too. Could have been a bit low, but Hera thought it was low.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
What a duel here, eh? 2 outs. Rhonda Hera.
Looks like it's outside again, Marshall.
Okay, now what we saw there was a drop strike. Hera was sure the ball was outside. I think it's fair to say is that we have a big strike zone at the moment in the way of the umpiring. I mean, these are probably strikes, but there's the ball dropped. Now, as soon as the ball is dropped, the runner has a right to first base if she can beat the throw. And there we see she was out by a meter. So it is still 0-all as we go into the top of the 3rd innings.
Top of the order, Fang Yan is leading off for China. Got the safe hit to shortstop.
Good pitch.
At the beginning of the game.
Actually, I love these bows at the back of the helmets there, Cheryl. It's a very nice touch. As we see there's a lovely red bow in the back of the helmet there. Good hit. That's off her glove. She won't get it. Safe. Now, that's what we're seeing is a wonderful execution of what I would call modern softball. Modern softball says you bang it into solid skin diamonds like what you have here because the ball goes high. And believe me, to get over the head of Gina Weber, you really do have to go high. So New Zealand is once again in big has a big problem on its hands now because the leadoff batter is on one.
They've done it again, Marshall. They've advanced the runner. Another safe hit.
But that was more than a safe hit. That was a phenomenally skillful hit there because it knew that the shortstop was going to cut to 2, and it hit it in back of the shortstop, who would have been breaking to second base. So the Chinese playing copybook softball here. New Zealand has huge problems. There are none down and runners on first and second, and if Gina could ever pump up, she better do it now.
And this is their number 3 batter in the order, which is their big hitter, Su King Liu. And she flew out to shortstop last time, but she certainly had all the opportunities in the world to perform. And I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't try and see the coach sacrifice this runner on 2 down to third base, which would just put them in a brilliant scoring
Okay, now that means if they lay down the
There it
bat,
is.
it's up to King, foul ball, to get over to 3. The ball just went foul. Actually, a little bit of inexperience there at first base. She should have let that ball bounce instead of catching it foul. It's very easy to sit up here and say that. You're charging in after the ball, but it may have been that it might have spun back fair.
And it looks as though we're going high and inside.
Yep, in fact, it was off the mask of Monk. That would have hurt. Actually, I was wrong about that spin back because then they would have been safe on second and third. Wipe that. Okay, now that was a foul ball that had gone off the mask of Monk, but the big news is that Gina is well ahead now. No balls, 2 strikes. She'll need the strikeout. There's the sacrifice bunt. Just takes the easy out at 1. The Chinese, wonderful sacrifice on 2 strikes. And they do a lot of bunting on 2 strikes. And I hope a lot of New Zealanders are watching that. We have some childish rule that says you do not bunt on 3rd strike. But have a look at that. Double sacrifice.
Nice to see Gina make the field. Last time she fielded, she made an error, so she'll have her confidence back on fielding.
Yes, I think she knew by the slowness of the bunt there that she had no chance at 3rd base. All right, now, what do you do? Now, a long fly ball now will score the girl from 3. Our options at the moment are to go for a strikeout or to walk this batter and load the base.
Well, catcher Ying Wang was struck out last time, but as you can see, there's 6 runs batted in. They'll be going for the long fly. Oh, now hang on, Marshall. We've got a 2-ball count on the batter. This is perfect squeeze material.
All right.
And by squeeze, we mean a compulsory bunt and run. The runner on 3 would be stealing home. Are they going to play it, or are they going to go with the long hit?
Right. Watch for the squeeze bunt. No, it wasn't called, Cheryl. What she was saying was that Gina had to come in with a strike then. So that is the time you call for what I call the kamikaze bunt, which means there's no turning back.
Now this is very interesting, Marshall. If they walk her, they've got the left fielder.
No, there it is. She holds the runner. Good out by Gina Weber. Very mature play. The crowd love it. Gina just stared at the girl at 3rd base, saying, I dare you to run. Held her up and then made the easy out at 1st base. Now this takes a lot of the pressure off here. Here's the ball to Gina, who just checks the runner at 3, takes the out at 1. And that's 2 down. Now what that means is that a long fly ball now is the 3rd out. It is not the 1st run.
That's right, and this batter is the one that they intentionally walked last time, so they would have been in big trouble.
Doing it again, Cheryl.
If they had walked, they certainly are. This is smart softball. The Chinese won't be too happy about it. Shunfang Shang being put on base once again. I wonder whether she's going to get an opportunity to swing a bat at all in this game.
Well, we see it a lot with Sorensen in men's softball, and we are seeing it here, that if you are that good, it's not a bad move if the opposition say, well, we'll accept you're brilliant, we'll walk you. You can see how keen she is. She's putting the bat out there. She's got herself all primed up to win this game with a hit. And it's like you take your violin to the party, but no one lets you play.
Well, an interesting situation. They've certainly made it a forced situation. The ball reaches any base at any time before a base runner, and that base runner is going to be out. And we saw last time that this situation happened. A brilliant out by Leslie King, didn't we?
Well, can New Zealand do it again? I mean, this is like digging yourself into a huge hole and then trying like heck to claw your way back.
Marshall, look at this. We've got Natalie Hazelwood coming into fielding by second base. She hit up the centre last time. Ed Dollage did this in 1986. They've only got 2 outfielders. Now, if they hit the ball through Gina Weber, they have effectively given another infielder in there. Now, this is absolutely incredible. This has never been done in any other international softball other than the World Series by New Zealand.
Well, does everybody understand what's going now? We now have 2 second base people, right? There is Natalie Hazelwood is standing directly in back of Gina Weber. There's Natalie. Now that means that we have a first baseman, a second baseman, a middle second baseman, and a shortstop and third base. Right. If this was an English game, there would be some stupid name for it, like a silly mid-second baseman.
That's exactly right. We'll see whether our silly mid-on or silly second-on can perform.
Here it is. Should be an easy out. Here it is. New Zealand gets out of it again. Well done, Kiwis. But boy, oh boy, team, you better get a run on the deck because you don't want to go through this again. Here's the hit out to Rhonda Hira. She knows she can just take her time and make that vital third out. But I tell you what, it's aging all of us, this process.
This is a tremendously exciting game, and it's nice to see exciting softball being played. Well, that's the bottom of the third innings, and New Zealand, China still 0-all. Now, Natalie Hazelwood leading off for New Zealand, asking the question of the umpire, was it a called strike or was it a swinging strike? And she's called it as being a strike, a called strike through the strike zone. And there's that change up again, 2 strikes.
Now this will really upset Hazelwood. Look at that expression there. This is as gritty a softball player as I've ever seen. Now her first time up was a bit of a disaster, and she does not like to strike out.
She likes to make a full commitment.
Oh well.
Well, number 10, Natalie Hazelwood, would be pretty disappointed with this effort.
Well,
she's very hard on herself. She's a perfectionist, and this will go down very badly.
That was a ball, and Natalie will know that, and she's in front of a few thousand of her loyal Canterbury fans, too. Poor Natalie.
And the star, Gina Weber. She's been a match winner with the bat and on the mound. And here we have 5 for 25, batting average of 200. But the Chinese have effectively taken 7 strikeouts off 12 batters. So you have to say,
oh, she's brilliant,
that Li Hong-Wang has actually got the better of this game
no
over
doubt.
Gina.
No doubt about it. I mean, with Gina's loaded the bases twice. No, this young lady is in command here, and it's going to take a big hit or a series of hits to break it. Now that was just inside. Gina didn't swing. She's going halfway round. But what's important at the moment is that New Zealand moved the ball now. They don't want her to get another strikeout here.
We really need to see something that's going to break up the rhythm of the strikeout count that Li Hong-Wang is collecting, and that's our prime.
Yeah, and Cheryl, that was
objective.
The pitch to do it. That was right down the guts there. Whoa! Gee, it must be her motion at the moment. Now, this is unusual to see our good batters fooled that badly, isn't it? I mean, it must be something in that motion.
Pitch.
For one thing, and things we haven't stressed enough, is that this young lady's left-handed. Now, you can count on one hand the amount of top left-handers in the world. So it's something, how many, there's another strikeout.
Strikeout number 8, Marshall.
here in NZ, how many are left-handed?
I only know of 2 left-handed women pitchers in New Zealand, and one of those are not playing provincial softball.
Right, so
The other one, of course, is in the batter's box right now, and that's Fiona Timu.
Is that right?
She's a left-handed pitcher, pitches for the Metro Club in Auckland, and led the New Zealand attack at the Under-19 World Series in Oklahoma in 1987.
Then that is a shame that she's our first base, then, if she's our only lefty. Good pitch, gee, her control now. The whole rhythm of our batters has been completely upset now. They're going for balls that are down in the dirt. They're going for the change-up. They're going fast.
Well, my philosophy on the change-up, Marshall, when you have a pitcher that's throwing it so often, is to bunt it.
Yeah, good point. There's a ball down. It didn't jump at shortstop. Remember, there's a little groove down there. That time it stayed low, as they say in cricket, and made for an easy out, as we see here. Now, this ball on the ground, often there's a bounce at the end of it as it hits that lip. In that case, it stayed down and made for an easy out at 1. Well, New Zealand had better, here we see the out again, but New Zealand had better get A into G.
Su King Lu taking the out.
This game is going China's way. So there it is. In the 4th, it's 0-all.
Here we have Jun Lu leading off, center fielder. Struck out last time. In fact, Gina didn't have any problem with these last, or rather next 3 batters.
I will say this, that it does seem like it's the top half of the Chinese order that is causing all the problems. The bottom 3 do not seem to be in the same class in batting as the top 5 or 6.
Well, certainly the top 6 batters have all done their job. There's only 1 out of 12 batters that's been struck out in those top 6.
Yeah.
So they've got problems. There's no 2 worries about that. We have to include those 2 deliberate walks, of course, but other than that, everybody else has been doing their job and moving the ball.
Yep, so it's important that I would say that there are 3 Ks here. That's the way to lift her team, isn't it? It's the bottom of the order. She should be in control here, so strikeouts would really help the cause.
Score goes to 2-2.
Yes, Gina's ahead of the batter in this count, and she'll want to get rid of it straight away. There it is. See, that's a solid strikeout, a solid start to this inning. I don't think we're going to see any great excitement with these last 2 batters.
Now, that was a well-disguised pitch, too. Just at the last moment, it sprung out from in back of the knee. Good pitch. See if she can get another 2 to strike out the side here in the 4th innings. No, well, that's just as easy. 1 pitch, 2 outs.
I think Gina's taking command here. She's going to wrap this up. Batter got it late, dug it into the ground, straight to Gina, who's very relaxed, and fires the ball over to Fiona Timu.
And here comes a bit of sunshine. Now, actually, what amazes me is that when New Zealand plays overseas in finals and World Series and things, even a crowd of about a dozen seem to manage to get a chant going. We saw it with the netballers in Scotland. You know, just a handful of people can make a heck of a lot of noise. Well, there's no chance here today. You know, maybe it's the same with the spectators. They're expecting everybody else to start the chant.
We're very polite in Christchurch, Marshall. We're a little bit on the conservative side.
Some people would say polite, others would say constipated. I mean, well, why isn't there a bit of Kiwi, something going on here?
1 ball, 1 strike on the number 9 batter, first baseman Sion Wang. New Zealand will be very keen to see her leave the batter's box and back to the dugout and get on with making some hits and getting some base runners on and break up this rhythm that China have established from the middle of the mound.
Yep, New Zealand need a run, so they need another out here, and it's a strikeout. Now, that's the way. What Gina's saying is here, come on, gang, I'm doing my bit. Now let's see you do yours. So there we are. That well, here's the excellent strikeout. Ball stayed low. Good pitch.
6 strikeouts
Actually,
for
it
Gina
bounced
Weber.
out then, and no one.
6 strikeouts for Gina Weber. Leslie picks the ball up and simply touches the batter. Very kindly stands there, and Leslie says, "Hello, how are you? Thank you very much. You're out."
Bad play. She should have run. So there it is at the bottom of the 4th. It is still 0-all. Okay, here we go. Now at the bottom of the 5th, it's Nardi Clark. She's a very experienced campaigner. It's your job as leadoff to get on base any way you can do it. Even being hit by the ball and going to Hollywood at this stage would be good, smart softball.
It looks as though they've remembered that she's a hitter, all right.
Good cut. She knows the strike zone well, and she's a good, solid batter. She hits with a good, flat bat.
Well, New Zealand have only taken 1 hit off Lee Hong Wang. They'll certainly be looking for their 2nd hit of the ball game in this inning.
Ball was dead off the plate.
Number 12, Nardi Clark.
Okay, now I think New Zealand really have to do something now. I think if they're 1, 2, 3 down in this inning, they're going to start to hear the footsteps. So it's important that they break the concentration of the Chinese, because at the moment their defense is in control.
We simply need to see this ball moved.
Here's the pitch. Inside, good eye by Nardi Clark. That was a brave effort then. It's full count. Now she would love, she's doing her job though, because when you lead off, really what you want is a walk. That's as good as anything else. It's as good as a hit.
It counts. Let's just hope we don't see a stand-up KC. That's
Now,
the one
is
thing
she
we
going
don't
to
want.
throw a change-up now, Cheryl?
I'll say yes.
No. And it's ball 4. Nardi checked. They're asking, did she swing? This is controversial here. They asked the umpire. Nardi did her job. It was outside. Now watch, did she break her wrists on this swing? She went after it, and then she manages to, well...
Marshall, I have to say that's a swing.
That's a cut. We got a break. Okay, it's a bit of luck now. We feel that she did commit herself to that swing.
All right.
But
We've
look,
got Gabrielle Spark coming to the plate, and actually I made an error beforehand. There's 2 hits in this ball game, one by Rhonda here, and here's our triple base hitter, Gabrielle Spark.
Okay, here we go now. She's got to bunt it. Oh, no. Luckily, it wasn't seen in time. The ball was popped foul. But this is where New Zealand has been weak for donkey's years, both in men and women. Actually, it's worse in men. And that is with the sacrifice bunt. Now, you have to do your job here.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ed Dollars keep the bunt on Gabrielle. Oh, bad. Lost the head.
Yeah.
Lost the head completely.
Terrible. She just, because that was an easy ball to bunt. It was rising a bit. There it is, but it's an out. That is very bad softball.
Now, that's unusual, Marshall. I would have thought Ed would have kept the bunt on Gabrielle Spark for all 3 strikes.
Well, that makes no sense at all to hit the ball like that. I mean, maybe it was a hit and run. Have a look at the lead there. He may have called for the hit and run. So
I don't think so. With 1 strike on the batter, you can't guarantee the next pitch is going to be a strike. But here we have Linda O'Kane, and she's been taken out of the ball game once, so she's there to stay.
it's a bunt.
She's done a job. It's excellent.
Yeah, but it is a batter late because now it's 2 outs. She did do her job then. In fact, that was a very excellent bunt, and she is fast enough to almost make 1. As we see here, let's see how much she's out by. Out by about a step and a half, but she did her job, but it was a batter late. Now it's up to the captain. Here is Leslie Monk, and how many times have we seen this? New Zealand desperately needing a run, and in comes Leslie Monk.
Well, we have 2 chances at it. There's 1 down. Leslie Monk at the plate. And Leslie King on deck, which means she's the next batter.
Well, who would you back in a situation like this? I don't know. I've seen Monk get vital hits so many times that I'm going to go with her. She's looking for a slap hit. Good eye.
And that's smart pitching by the Chinese. They're going down and low.
Now, actually, it wouldn't be unwise. Now, I know she's not that fast. In fact, I would have had wheels on there in place of Nardi, but a great time for a steal, especially if it gets to strike 2, because that would mean that Monk would lead off the next innings. In fact, I think that was the hit and run. Did you see
Absolutely.
Clark down at 2 there? I think he called for the hit and run. She had to go after that because it was an outside pitch.
Absolutely, and I would say that Leslie Monk will be interested in moving this ball through the infield.
Don't be surprised.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Don't be surprised if that's called again or even a steal. It is just so important that New Zealand get a lead run now because all of the impetus is going the other way. We're playing defensive softball rather than offensive softball, and then you find about the 6th innings that you crack. It's a good hit, but she'll get her out. Here's the pump. There's the... Ooh! Bad throw from third base. Had to go inside, but the result was New Zealand did not score. Here's Monk slamming the ball down into the dirt. That's good softball. Ball is fielded well at third base and then thrown inside. Look at this stretch. She's way inside of the bag, but look at how she kept her foot on. Watch this now. There is a bad throw, but she manages to keep that foot on.
Seo Yan Wang doing a lot of work there. Nice two-handed take. And yes, Leslie's out by a good 3 steps. Fang Yan, that's a tremendous batting average. 2 turns to the plate for 2 hits. This is where New Zealand struck all the trouble. Beginning of the inning, 1st inning and 3rd inning, these batters did all the damage. Now, if New Zealand are to win this ball game, Marshall, they have to take these next 3 batters right out of the ball game.
This is the crunch because as we've seen, the bottom of the order, you don't expect a run out of China. But these first 5 batters are really world class, so that if New Zealand managed to get it 1, 2, 3, it means that when we do hit the 6th and the 7th, we're in good position. Good bunch, you'll have to hurry. She gets it. Just got a great throw from Nardi Clark. With Nardi, I felt was just a little slow at third. She's played really well this week, but she shows there's the big smile, chipped tooth and all. She got onto this ball just a little bit late, but a wonderful throw.
She set herself with her feet first and took another step, where most other people have been throwing off their right foot.
Good point. Good point. That was a vital out, and you could see by the grin from Nardi that she knew it. Now there's a fly ball to center field, and it's caught! Oh, my goodness! Brilliant! New Zealand is just hanging on. Just hanging on. That ball was over Donna's head, but look at this catch.
This is a tremendous out from Donna Pifarangi, really having to hunt an over-the-top reverse glove. And I bet she's pleased she bought a glove with 2 extra inches on the top.
Well, look, if we had some beer ads, that'd be in the catch of the year or something like that, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
And what a time to do it. That's what we used to see out of Cotter and the men's, you know, just something right when you need it. And here's the 3rd out. Well done, New Zealand. 1, 2, 3. Now, let the crowd should get behind you now and give you a big lift.
Shortstop, Sue King Lu being taken out once again by Gina. We've seen probably 4 to 5 balls fielded by Gina, taking the easy out at first. Bottom of the 5th innings and still no score. I think we're going to see some pretty determined batting from Leslie King this inning. Rhonda Hera on deck, who of course is an excellent sacrificer.
Well, this is the young lady that got the vital runs in the last game and the game before that. She is just a very exciting, complete softball player. Can she do it again? She left the bat out there for a very unusual bunt, and if that works, it's fantastic because it means you drop the ball absolutely dead. You leave out for a dead bunt, and it just would have dropped right down, but she just missed it. Good attempt, though. There. Foul ball. Ooh, and a wild throw. She keeps the pressure on, doesn't she? This is how you force errors.
She does, Marshall. I don't know that I'm too happy with the switch hitting, trying to slap from the left-hand side. She's a natural right-hander. She's a well-respected right-hand batter. And I think I prefer to see her on the other side of the box with a bit more power in there. We really need a multiple base hit at the moment to start things rolling.
Well, at the same time, she is leading off, so really you want her down on one, struck out. I mean, you're absolutely right in this instance, but it's great to see a lead-off batter batting on the left-hand side who is capable of a slap hit. Anyway, the result is that it's one down, and we really needed a base runner on.
Well, that was the 9th strikeout of the inning, and 3 of those are Leslie King's. Rhonda Hera, batting .500 for the ball game. Oh, that was the one to hit Rhonda. She will not be happy about that. That was right there. She knew it. She's got to do a little bit more work now in that batter's box. We effectively would like to see Rhonda make second base off a hit.
Come on, buddy, hit it.
Whoa, that one bounced about halfway down the track.
Wouldn't that have been nice with a base runner on?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
But Lee Hong Wang has done a tremendous job. What can you say about this young 21-year-old?
I mean,
very, very heavy workload and has done such a tremendous job for China.
What we're saying is that this week's week of softball is harder than the World Series are because there were no easy teams. And this young lady has had no earned run against her in a week of softball.
Well, she's certainly ahead of Rhonda in this situation. 2 strikes on her. She has to protect the plate. She can't elect to go for her pitch. She simply has to protect this plate and try and move the ball. We've got to break up this rhythm that Lee Hong Wang has developed from the center of the softball diamond.
No.
That's brave.
Outside.
That's very brave,
Yeah.
to leave a pitch that close to the strike zone with 2 strikes on you. That's very brave batting.
But you could see her lean across. Look, she watches it all the way, kept her options open, and it was a ball.
I must say that the Australian umpire, Kathy Powers, who in fact originates from the USA, has done a very, very good job here.
There's another strikeout. Now, that is just about a nail in the coffin at the moment, and at least they're starting to shut the lid on us anyway, even if the nails aren't going in, because this is one of our top batters and missed badly on that pitch. There's just something about this left-hander that has us mesmerized.
Natalie Hazelwood, her 3rd trip to the plate, and she's in the same boat as Leslie King. She's had 2 strikeouts. And it's certainly not giving our bottom of the order batters confidence when we see our top hitters go at the plate.
Good try then at a bunt, a running bunt. It was a good try, but the ball had gone foul. Now, we should see the expression on Hazelwood's face because for her, this is a nightmare. She is a wonderful batter and just has had no luck so far. And she'll want to make amends. No one's going to try harder. Here it is. It's a pop fly, but easily caught by the shortstop, and that's
They jammed her right up on the hands, Marshall.
Yep.
That's very, very sensible calling. Hazelwood had no power, straight up on the hands, and she was jammed right up. Ball goes up to Sue King Lu, who takes that 3rd out of the inning.
The award ceremony will take place.
Here we go. Strike one. Now it's vital. New Zealand is down at the moment. The infield has gone quiet. They're standing a bit flat. And now's the time you see errors. So it's important that Gina stays tough.
Catcher Ying Wang in the box leading off for China. And on deck is the left fielder, Chun Fang Shang, who of course has been intentionally walked twice. So it'll be very, very important that they get this lead-off batter out.
Okay. Good bunch. You'll have to hurry. Oh, that's exactly what I mean. That's what happens. When you dig yourself in and dig yourself out, eventually you crack. You cannot keep the pressure on. New Zealand have not given us a lead in this game. And now, sadly, that's the result. You see the little errors that when you're not up, you're down.
Well, this is interesting. I think that shows a lot of the hard work that Gina's done over this week.
Well, I don't blame her because her team haven't hit. They haven't batted. This is the crunch time. This is what you practice for. This is what you get yourself on a New Zealand team for. You back yourself, and when you're there, you perform.
Well, New Zealand has backed Chun Fang Shen because they've put her on base twice, so that's got to be confidence plus for her as a hitter.
Now, she was bunting for the hit then. That was a little surprising. The Chinese are getting a little overconfident. All they need to do is move her down.
Well, Gina's well ahead of this batter.
That's a break. That's a break. Now, that's the sort of thing we haven't seen the Chinese do. That was a bit of luck by New Zealand. Now, let's see if they can capitalize it on here. I tell you what New Zealand really need. Here we see the bunt. She didn't square away early. She's really being very sort of cheeky there, and she paid the price. What New Zealand now need is a double play. Something to get the adrenaline going again. And to get these Cantabrians to make a little noise. There's an easy pop fly. That's 2 down now. Good pitching.
Yes, they seem intent on this little split hand poking instead of a full commitment, full swing. And Leslie King takes the out. 2 down in the inning. Brings to the plate centre fielder Liu Jun, who's had 2 strikeouts. So we would like to see.
There we go. There's error number 2. That's exactly what I'm talking about. New Zealand have to do it at the plate. They have to get a run, or the Chinese are going to do it for them. Too much pressure.
This is shocking. Leslie Monk had that, and that's given first base runner an easy ride down to second. A single base hit here, and we've got a 1-0 ball game.
Here it is. It's a pop fly. Thank goodness into the glove of Rhonda Hira. The crowd applaud, but it's a pretty lukewarm reception that the Kiwis get.
I think that's relief we've got there, Marshall. It's a good swing. See the head looking straight up. It's like any ball sport. You look up, that's where the ball's going to be. Rhonda Hira takes the out.
Play a bit of golf, do you? Right. Okay, can Gina get us a lead here? Good eye, low ball 1. Okay. She's intense stuff here.
I think if Gina gets on, they may bring out Lorraine Claydon.
There's a hit, and it's off the glove. Yes, she will make it. She make it. No. And the umpire turned away rapidly. Let's see this. Now, I do not believe Gina Weber is out here. Let's see. Here comes the throw. Here comes the foot. No, that's right. It was a short step. She missed the base. Gina did not take a long stride then.
Good call, Ed Isaacs.
Very good call. Why didn't Gina stretch out that leg? There's a fly ball that could be caught down the left field line. The girl just wanted to get there so badly, she actually was crawling on the ground to get to it. Gee, wasn't that bad luck, because she would have been safe if she'd stretched out that leg. Here we see the ball hit down the left field line.
Yes, there's the shortstop falling on her knees, the star of the China team, Xu King Lu, and Fiona Timu in the batter's box. 1 strike on the batter, and can Fiona Timu do it?
1-1.
Well, we've got 1 ball, 1 strike on number 6, Fiona Timu. One of the youngsters in this New Zealand A team. Now, wouldn't it be tremendous if she could break this ball game open with a good hit?
That is! There it is! It's fair!
No,
it's called fair!
It's called foul.
Called foul, sorry. Gee, that was close. It certainly was fair, and then at the last moment just seemed to cut in and hit the line. I'm even worse than this at tennis. Here it goes, and
It's a good call.
Right.
It's a good call.
Sure it didn't hit the chalk.
I think these umpires are doing a tremendous job. They've had some close calls. Kathy Powers called an excellent game at the plate. Ed Isaacs at first. And, of course, Alan McAuliffe, the other Australian umpire, at third. I think they're doing a great job.
Yes, they really have done an excellent job all week here, because the umpiring hasn't been actually as good as the players. But those three have been exceptional. Now, that was a shame. Actually, that's the story of this innings. An extra stretch by Gina at 1 would have meant she was safe. Another inch to the right, and that would have been a 2-base hit. Foul ball.
Fiona Timu's making contact with this ball on
She's a good
every
softball player,
occasion.
isn't she? She's very impressed with this young lady.
Yes, she's got a very, very solid future with New Zealand softball. There's no two ways about that. Going to the outside of the plate again.
They'll have to hurry, and they get her! What a great throw by the shortstop, and we show that there was a wonderful split by the first baseman there. Now,
Seo Wang, first basewoman, made that play.
As we see here, she knows she has to hurry. That's a long time in the dirt for that ball. Rocket arm, and look at this great split at first base. Total split. And she's out by a meter. Great play by the Chinese. That's backing their pitchers.
Fiona Timu, a little bit slow getting up to first there, but a great throw by Siu King Lu. And what a stretch. Nadia Clark in the box. Only had 1 trip to the plate, still hasn't done anything as yet. We really need to see some action here from the New Zealand batting lineup if they've any hope of taking this ball game.
Well, it's a question of impetus, isn't it? And at the moment, the Chinese have everything going for them. So it's going to take a super effort by 1 or 2 Kiwis to get this game back. And no one would know that better than the batter here at the moment. With Nadia Clark has been around for a long time. She has been a captain of New Zealand and of Auckland. Very experienced softball.
The amazing part about this is the history of New Zealand's softball at this tournament. They've made things happen. They've only won ball games by 1 run in most of their ball games, and they've made it happen every time. They've stretched bases, they've taken advantage of plays, and I wonder whether we're going to see one play, one opportunity where New Zealand are going to take this ball game out, or they're going to let China win. And it's what we said yesterday, Marshall, yep. Winners make things happen and losers let things happen.
That's why impetus is so important, because usually if you don't have it, you make the errors. Now, that's a good inside call there, but that's what worries us at the moment, is that if New Zealand don't claim the ascendancy, then they're the ones who are going to make the error. Now, there's the first mistake we've seen by China in a while. There's a walk.
That's Nadi's second walk in this game, Marshall. She's been on base 2 out of 3 times. Absolutely.
Now, what about a runner for Nardi here? I mean, why not?
Well, we've got 2 down at the moment. I think he wants to save his base runners in case we get people like Gina Weber on base again.
Yeah.
It may have less than 2 down. But Gabrielle Spar, stand-up triple.
Gee, if she could do that again, wouldn't she be the pride of Southland?
Wouldn't she just?
Drink free forever, I think. Oh, that was a mistake. Was off her hand, actually.
And Marshall, she'll still be out because the hands are considered part of the bat.
That really hurt. That really hurt. I hope we're not seeing a serious injury here. Now, watch this ball curve in. Starts off, and ouch. Gosh, that hurt. Right off the fingers. And, oh, mother dear. As we see, she couldn't even run. She was in such pain. So the easy out was made at first base to retire the side. And it'll be ice on that hand. Luckily, she is the DH, so she's not involved in fielding at the moment. She doesn't have to go out there and field, so they will ice it. So there we are at the top of the 7th. It is still 0-all.
Wang Hiang Hong. Oh, we've got a replacement batter in there. My apologies. It's Li Chen that's at the plate, and I can see why. She's had a strikeout.
Goodness.
Hasn't got a batting average, hasn't got any RBIs, so they're saying we've got nothing to lose here. Right fielder Huang Yang Hong did nothing.
Wait a minute.
We'll give Li Chen a shot.
Wait a minute. She's left-handed. I've got a feeling this is a bunting specialist here. I think she's going to do something in the way of an infield slap hit or a bunt. Why else would they use her? She obviously isn't batting, although the bottom of the Chinese order has done absolutely nothing, so they're not losing anything. She's only been up 9 times, but she is left-handed. Oh, that was a lucky call, I think.
Now, I think Li Chen will be a little bit upset about that. Only 9 trips to the plate, and she says, I finally get a shot in here, and I get a called strike on me when it goes into the dirt. But how tough is she? Can she come back from it?
Nope.
Oh, that's it.
Now, that's vital at the moment. The sun is out. The crowd is still moribund. But it's important that we get strikeouts here to lift the team. It's not going to be the crowd that does it.
Well, first baseman Xian Wang coming to the plate. And she's been struck out twice, and both on stand-up strikeouts. So we see a full swing there now, Marshall. She's not going to be standing looking at these pitches coming down.
Well, that's smart. I mean, she isn't batting. She's a big girl. May as well have a go for the fence.
I think we're looking for an inside drop here.
You got it. You got it. She'll have to hurry. Good throw. Gee, Monk is so safe on those throws, isn't she? It's so easy to hit the runner, you know.
Marshall,
she has to
this
throw
was a
high.
foul ball.
I thought it came down off the plate.
Foot.
Off the foot, yeah.
That the umpire
She's
signaled
staying in.
Umpire signaled in, so she's right there, and they've done the right thing and taken the out.
Good throw by Monk. Okay, now let's see if we can get a strikeout here, just to give the Kiwis a lift. There's a fly ball, easy catch to Nardi Clark. 3 up, 3 down.
Opportunity for young Linda O'Kane, batting number 8 in the order, and the crowd's starting to come alive. They know that it's getting down to the wire. We've got to start having some action here if New Zealand are to take out this international series. And Linda O'Kane is very capable. She would certainly be the right base runner to have on base, very quick.
Yeah, she's quick. That's what they need. She needs to get on any way she can, even if she gets hit by the ball, anything she can do to get on.
That's what we call taking one for the team, Marshall.
Yep. There it is. Ooh, goodness, now something's going to go wrong there. That's the 3rd time the third baseman has thrown inside to first base. New Zealand should know that, and the next time it happens, I think they should clean her clock. Here we go. See the ball going inside. Now, one of these days, that runner's going to be she did get out. She was going to do it, too. There was no excuse me then. And that first baseman must be pretty angry at the third baseman by now.
Well, there's one easy way around it, and that's to go out and get the ball a little bit quicker instead of letting it come in behind you.
She is excellent first base. Oh, now there's a
control there.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing we haven't spoken about, is that this young lady must be getting very, very tired.
She's done a power of work in this tournament. She came away as the number 2, number 3 pitcher, and she's certainly going away the star, irrespective of result.
Well, now, let's see. It's 2 balls. We know she's going to throw a strike now. Now, let's see if Monk goes for the good hit between left and center field. She does, and it's down the right field. It is fair, it is fair. She'll go. No, don't. I was just thinking about that. We wanted her down to second base, but the fielders are so good. Now, the right fielder is insisting that the ball went foul. Now, I thought the last one was in. This one I thought was out. So,
I think it's definitely a fair ball.
Well, probably because I thought it was out, it would have to be in. No, I'm sorry that there wasn't an angle on that, but I'm glad that Monk had a go then. It was 2 balls on her. We knew she was going to throw a strike. It was a bit outside. She did swing a bit late, but the result is that it's given us a lively boost now.
And we've got Leslie King, and I'm delighted. She's in the right-hand batter's box. She's going for it. There it is. Excellent bunt. Excellent bunt.
Wait a minute, something was drastically wrong there because Monk did not get away from first base. Someone missed a call then. Someone missed a call. Now, what the heck was happening? Here's the ball, here's the bunt. Monk was only halfway down. Now, I don't believe that...
Mayhaps she got a signal from the first base coach. I'm not too sure. Was it leaving early?
Maybe she was called out for leaving early.
Well, I'm not too sure on that one, Marshall. I just don't
Here's the steal, and she is safe. No. What did he call?
He's called her out.
I didn't think she tagged her. In fact, I don't think the Chinese girl thought she tagged her.
No, I think King's definitely been called out on the steal. And you can see Rhonda here took the big swing over the ball to try and disguise it.
Let's see now on this. Now, here's the steal.
There's the big swing.
There's the swing. Now, let's see what happens down here at second base. The throw is too short. Goes in low. She picks it up.
No, she's got her. She's got her. She's protected the base. King's tried to go away. Right round her.
Right.
Top of the 8th inning. And still 0-all in New Zealand versus China. Chunlan Lee.
Look at
Tremendous batting average. 3 trips to the plate for 2 hits. This is going to be an extremely...
This is the crunch. This is the crunch.
Important out for New Zealand.
There's a hit. She's done it again. She is... Oh, no, that's a bad error, but she won't go. Donna booted the ball, and this is what we mean about New Zealand not having the impetus, not going forward. We've been playing defensive softball for this entire game, and this is what happens. Good hit, no chance of a stop there. In fact, a copybook hit straight up the middle. It's booted in center field, but she stays on 1. Now, what do we do here? It'll probably be the sacrifice bunt.
Has to be the sacrifice, Marshall. And that's a good sacrifice. She's done a job. The ball came straight back off the plate, which of course means it's still in fair territory. You'll see it on this angle here. Well, I think that's the original hit we've just seen from Donna Piperangi with the ball out in center field, but notwithstanding, the sacrifice by Su King Liu was absolutely perfect and advances Chun Lan Yi down to second base. 1 down.
Well, I must say that I've got a feeling this is the ball game here. If New Zealand can hang on to here, I'll be surprised. The reason I say that, normally I would back us, but it's just the Chinese have kept us on the back foot for this entire game, and the New Zealanders have had too much pressure, so it's lined up here for a Chinese win.
Well, we had some songs in the bus the other night, Marshall, in Chinese, and I'm sure if they took this out, we'd be certainly hearing a good chorus from the Chinese tonight.
Well, I've got to say that most of the noise that's been made in this game has been from their dugout, which is a terrible thing to say about the crowd in Christchurch, especially when you hear them at Lancaster Park or at Cal Stadium. And there it is. There's Nardi checks the runner. Good out by Nardi Clark. Kept her body right in front of the ball. That was well hit. Went over the glove of Nardi Clark. She had her body right in front.
Experienced play here from Nardi. She takes the ball, gets it quickly, checks and checks, takes the out over to Fiona Timu, and she's looking at the base runner. There you go. Well, Is it going to happen again, Marshall? We've got Chun Fang Zhang in the box, 2 intentional walks, and yes, they're going to do it
Oh,
again.
this poor girl. This poor girl. This is...
She's not happy.
No, this is not
She
happy.
wants to have a shot. This is an opportunity of scoring a run for her country in the bottom of the 8th innings at an international series, and New Zealand's taking it away from her. You can have first base, my dear.
It's not only that she takes her violin to the party, but no one will allow her to play. It's also the fact that she can play it like Yehudi Menuhin. So she's standing there looking very disconsolate. She would love to get the hit that wins this ball game. But New Zealand, as the saying goes, it's not over until it's over. So at the moment...
Well, Leslie and Gina are having a bit of a conference, and it looks as though they're looking to the New Zealand dugout for an instruction. I see Ed Dollage is up at the gate there, and he's having a chat away. She's going back to the umpire.
Now, maybe the runner was off the base at 2.
I wonder that she didn't return.
I think by asking him, you just reminded him. Okay.
I think they were asking the question, was the base runner leaving second base when the pitcher had the ball, which automatically means she's out?
Well,
All right, she's got first base, runners on 1 and 2.
I think they also said, was the umpire watching or something like that, because we did the umpire heard her say, well, that has reminded him. So I don't know what was going on there, but the result is it's 2 outs. It's the 8th inning. There are runners on 1st and 2nd, and New Zealand have come out of this twice now. Let's see if they can do it a 3rd time, because believe me, it gets harder every time.
Xu Feng has got an opportunity to become a national hero. 2 down, a single base hit could do it.
Here it is, Rhonda Hira, and that is safe. As I was going to say the Bank of New Zealand, but let's say the ANZ at the moment. That is really safe stuff. An easy out. Once again, New Zealand have hung on there. And here we see it. Rhonda Hira just absolutely safe, and New Zealand have done it again. Now, Cheryl, that's 3 times they have dug it out, but there we are in the 8th innings as we see New Zealand 0 and, surprisingly, China 0. The only thing that's good about this game is that it isn't us who left 9 runners on base, because then it really would be the Pits, wouldn't it?
Well, we wouldn't be terribly happy about it. Mind you, we've left 4 on base. And we'd like to think that we could score a run off that.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Leading off for New Zealand. Number 14, Rhonda Hira. And we are talking about a New Zealand match winner.
Are we? Yeah, if anyone's going to break this game open, it could certainly be this young lady. You would have to back her under pressure. And there it is. Oh, line down the right field line, foul. A tight strike, and the pitcher will know that. Pressure's on now. She must be getting tired out there on the mound.
Well, Rhonda Hira certainly won plenty of ball games for Hutt Valley on her own at Nationals 1 month ago.
It's, oh, once again, just gone foul.
And that's the repertoire of Rhonda Hira.
Oh,
She can hit, she can bunt, she can base run.
I can recall her for Hawke's Bay, and when she, just as a kid, she was fantastic. Just has all of the natural skills. Now, there we see the bunt going down there. She is going to be vital for the World Series next year in America. And what?
Are we going to see the change-up, Marshall? They've taken a once on it.
No,
Oh.
no, no.
And that's smart pitching.
Yep. Good rise ball then.
That's
She
smart
held
pitching.
back. Hira has such wrist control, doesn't he? She seems to back herself at the last moment with a check or a swing.
I still think that they're going to throw it to her and take her on it.
Did you hear that, Rhonda? There it was. It was the change-up. She just got to it. Just got to it. You were absolutely right. She pulled the chain on her, but she just managed to get back to ball. This is a wonderful duel here. 2 world-class players. There's the change-up. Just manages to get over the top of it. She wouldn't throw it twice. Eh?
She's got the ability to, Marshall. I don't know, though.
No, fastball, fastball. She really unleashed with that on the inside. Just missed the corner. What's the count now? 2-2.
What we normally see in these situations is we jam hard on the hands because that's the quickest pitch, and then you throw the changeup.
Actually, I just saw the pitcher expel air, which I haven't seen before. Smart move by Hira. Smart move by Hira. Now, that's the first sign I've seen of the pitcher showing any wear and tear, and that's after an amazing amount of games. Hira, very good of her to step out then, keep the pressure on. Pitcher will be a little bit angry about that, just might feed her one. Oh.
Brave batting. Brave batting, Rhonda Hira.
She leads forward, doesn't she? Kind of mesmerizes the ball. Watch this. Now, this is a gutsy leave. It just goes under the knee. Not
It's
by
all
much.
very well you having a good eye. You just hope Blue behind you's got a good eye as well, Marshall.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Just under the knee. There it is. It's high. Rhonda will get going. Here's the throw. She is out. Oh, my goodness. These Chinese are fielding well. That shortstop took no time to get rid of that ball. It's not just getting to the ball. It's the speed that you release it. Now, this girl takes no time. And look at that throw. Right on there. Great stretch. World class. Great stuff.
What should have been a close out was an effective an out by
She
2
took
or
it by
3
a
feet.
meter. I was yelling because I was sure Rhonda was going to make it.
Well, Natalie Hazelwood, you've got to be due.
Well, no one would know it more than Natalie.
And look at that face. That says it all. Yes, I know. It's up to me. I can.
She's delivered so many times in the past for Canterbury and New Zealand. Well, it's getting a piece of it. Foul down the left field line. What a scene we have here at the moment. Actually, there are thousands of people here, and it's a beautiful day all of a sudden. High shadows. They're about 5 deep around the infield. All of the stands are packed, and they're even on the fence at the back. In this magnificent new complex here in Christchurch, it is just beautiful. All it needs is a New Zealand win. There's a good bunt. Oh, she picked it up early. Now, what's she call? Foul ball?
No, she's indicated that the ball is fair.
Indication from umpire.
Well, I think the ball was going foul. Watch this now. It goes down into the dirt. Goes down. It's a good attempted a running bunt.
It's too good, Marshall. It's
Yeah.
right in front of the catcher.
Look at
It's
that.
fair.
I think it just rolled foul myself, but
Umpire puts a hand out into the middle of the diamond to indicate fair ball,
Yep.
and they play her and take the out
okay.
at first base.
Okay, what about a little bit of storybook stuff here? Okay, we've seen her do it once before. Gina Weber hits the ball over the left field fence. We haven't seen her this week do it. I mean,
Well-
one thing we know that Gina has license now to try to just about herniate herself, doesn't she? It's 2 outs. It's 8th innings. She may as well swing as hard as she's ever swung in her life.
And
Why
she's
not?
got a long grip on the bat there. Long handle grip. It's always interesting. Pitchers do have trouble pitching to Gina because the strike zone is so big. I know when I used to pitch to her, I actually had to throw a rise ball to get it across the knees, Marshall. Now, that's got to be a problem at the best of times.
Well, the fact you're standing in a hole doesn't help. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, great cut.
Now, Lee Hong Wang, of course, could certainly be tiring. She hasn't had any strikeouts in the last 3 innings, so New Zealand is starting to put bat on ball.
On Gina Weber.
All right, Gina Weber.
Here it comes. Good eye. Oh, the catcher left it there as if to say,
Yes,
come on.
and
Come on up.
Lee Hong Wang's not happy about that.
Oh, well, gee, it's good to see her show some emotion other than joy.
I think that was Chinese, like, what do I have to do here?
Yeah, come on, Blue. Give us a break. Come on, Gina. Pump up. Here we go. Yeah, there's a hit. She'll have to hurry, but Gina, yep, backs it down, and the crowd is just absolutely flat. Listen.
I think what we've got here, Marshall, is a frightened crowd.
I think so, from the first innings. That's a very good point.
Gina's just not got the speed after a long week. She's just starting to slow down.
Yep. Wasn't that amazing, that time there that she had missed that hit just because she didn't stretch out the leg? I mean...
That's tired softball, though.
Yeah.
The easy out taken, third out of the inning. Top of the ninth innings and still no score.
Okay, well, let's talk about tiebreaker. How soon and what's going to happen?
Well, at the 10th innings, of course, the tiebreaker starts, and tiebreaker means that the batting side, their ninth batter of the inning, automatically goes on to second base, and they start as the base runner with none down.
Well, let's just guess now. Who would be up? Who would be up? If I say it's 1, 2, 3 on each team, okay, who would be up in New Zealand? They'd have to put a runner on for Gina, too,
yes,
wouldn't they?
Gina was the last out of the inning, which says, of course, she's going to be the ninth batter in the next inning. So they'll be saving Jane Earnshaw for that, and that's why we've not seen her early in the game for Nardi Clark when we thought they may have brought a runner in.
Well, that could be exciting to have Earnshaw batting. Earnshaw running.
First and foremost, though, New Zealand have to take three outs. Otherwise, they lose the ball game.
Yeah. Now, what sort of order we got here? The top, bottom?
Well, we're at the bottom of the order. We've got number 7, 8, and 9 up.
Well,
Liu Jun, the center fielder. 2 strikeouts.
I see her going short-handle. That's what I do because these girls have not performed. The bottom 3 have not batted. So what I would do, I would start trying for an infield error here. I would go short-handle and bang it down. I think that bounced up and hit her bat. That was almost out, actually. If you're out of the box and it bounces up and hits the bat, you're out. As we see here, she hits it down into the deck. It bounces up again. But anyway, the result is a strike. I think she still goes short-handle again, and she does. Just about got the outside corner.
Yes, this is the time when Gina really needs to pump up and think to herself, I've only got 2 or 3 innings left in this tournament. I know it's hurting, but this is what it's all about.
That was a very good cut then, actually.
Yes, she's gone into a split grip on the bat. She's only intent on moving the ball. Actually, we must say that, you know, that the basic skills of the Chinese are immaculate. They've spent, there it is, a good bunt. Will Nardi get her? Nope. That's exactly what I would do with the Chinese. You try for the infield errors, you work on the fact that you've created an enormous amount of pressure, and then you capitalize on it. Look at this. She was up more than halfway on the bat there. That's what I mean about the basics. Total control over that bunt. And a sad error by Nardi Clark at third base. Now New Zealand have to really dig. Now here's another sacrifice bunt outside. Strike 1. Now this is vital. If New Zealand can hang on here, we're into the tie break, and then it's even Steven. Marshall, first and foremost, they're in big trouble here with the leadoff on. Pitch out, and they... Now I was wondering about that because she seemed to take a big lead. That time it was a pitch out. It was high and outside. Hira went in behind the runner. See this lead here? Now you'll see Hira goes in behind her, tries to cut her out, and just misses out. A great play by New Zealand. Here we go now. There's the pop. It'll be a caught. It'll be caught. A great out, a vital out by New Zealand. Well, I see that
the Irish.
the Chinese have the same problems, Marshall, of bunting.
That
is absolutely crucial for them.
Well, but we must say that those bottom order batters have not been good. But their basic skills are so good. They've spent an enormous amount of money on going around the world. They seem to be at all of the big events in softball. Both they're seen. There's a pop fly. Easy out. King's got it. Okay, and underneath. Result is it's 2 outs, and the girl is still on first base, and the Chinese won't be pleased about this. She swings underneath. Now here's King going back, makes a confident call. Look at O'Kane, just in case there's any problem there.
Well, the Chinese have 2 options here. They've got top of their order Fang Yan, who's got a batting average of 500, but she'd have to hit a double or better. to score this runner at first base. The alternative is, of course, is to send that runner down and make it worthwhile.
Why not? Once again, trying to force the error, trying to capitalize on the pressure.
Now, Marshall, the other option, of course, is they want this batter in the box to go out. They're resigned to.
It's exactly what we said, and there's the error. Good backing up did it, but that's exactly what we said. Why not try for the steal? You've put the pressure on New Zealand. Now capitalize on it. As we see here, it's a bad throw. It's in back of the shortstop, and she boots it out into the outfielder. Great backing up by Donna. And the result is it's 2 outs, but now the runner is in scoring position, and the crowd is hushed.
And this batter has had 4 trips to the plate for 2 safe hits. If she goes out, Marshall, of course, she is the runner and tiebreaker, and she's top of the order.
Well, as you say, maybe we shouldn't be talking about that because we mightn't go that far. If there's a hit here scoring that runner, this game and the championship is all over. And I must say the Chinese deserve to win. They put all the pressure on.
And we can see that the outfield are playing in. They're saying, we know we have to make the play to the plate if it's a safe hit. If you hit...
Actually, I think they're too far in.
Oh, if they hit over the head, it's going to be all over anyway.
Well,
if
that would
it's
just
2-0
be the
or
third
1-0,
out.
it's still the ball game.
There's the out. There's the out. New Zealand do it again. They hang on, and we go into tiebreaker. And tiebreaker, especially if the crowd would get behind New Zealand, then you forget about everything else. Here we see the pitch. She bangs it into the dirt. Easy play by Gina over to 1, and that's a very relieved New Zealand side going in. As we see here, she is beaten by a mile. Now we're into the tiebreak, and this is very interesting. We're now into the 10th innings, and it is still 0-all. Well, there's the Chinese coach. He's laying down the law.
He knows that the advantage is with New Zealand, and as much as they score first,
They put the pressure on.
they get the opportunity to score first. And if that happens, and we would expect New Zealand to score from there, and they've certainly elected the right option, as we suspected. Jane Earnshaw is coming in to run for Gina Weber.
There is Jane Earnshaw,
She is
pride of Canterbury, and she is quick. She's a great softballer, also the coach of the under-16 girls here in Canterbury. A dedicated softballer, but she is fast. Now, New Zealand actually here, I would say, have the advantage. They have a top-of-the-order batsman in. I think she bats, what, 4th now?
Well, Fiona's batting at 5. The big
5.
advantage here, she's a left-hander.
Yeah, she also looks good. Good balance on her. Now, what do you do here, coach? Let's put the acid on you. Okay, New Zealand B, assistant coach.
Marshall,
Canterbury
you have to bunt.
coach. What? Bunt.
You have to bunt.
Got no choice but to bunt.
You've got to put that runner down to 3rd base. You have 2 opportunities of scoring.
Okay, here we are now. Everyone knows that Fiona's gonna bunt and Jane's gonna go to 3. Here it comes, there it goes. Oh, she bobbled it! She bobbled it! She is safe! She is safe! I do not believe I've seen a China error, especially by that fantastic first baseman. Now watch this. It's a very good bunt. A very good bunt. Has nothing to do with her years. And there is the throw. She turns, safe, good bunt, good sprinting out of the blocks. And this means, look at that, leaves the ball behind. Means that Earnshaw is safe on 3, Timu safe on 1, and Nardi Clark coming into bat. Well,
This is where coaches are either heroes or do you send runners down? Do you squeeze? Do you hit? The options are there.
now I wouldn't squeeze yet. I'd squeeze. Next, here's the line hits ahead. Here comes in 1 run. Oh, she didn't throw it. She ran the ball in. She would have got Timu. Here comes Timu. Here comes Timu. The Chinese fell completely asleep. The right fielder did not throw it into 3rd base. I think they would have gotten Timu at 3. Timu is a heads-up going. This is sensational. For 10 innings, we have had nothing to cheer about, and suddenly we get this. This is the Chinese who've been immaculate, just blowing it away. Total mental error.
I can't understand it. The right field let Fiona Timu walk in from third base to the plate and didn't throw the ball.
The right fielder is defending her case. Get a camera on the right fielder at the moment. She is adamant that something made her do that. She is furious at everyone else. She is furious at her own players, maybe. I mean, outfielders do take cues, especially from second base. Maybe second base told her to run the ball in. But she is furious. She is saying it is not my fault. Anyway, let's see on the replay here.
Well, Marshall, I have to say that that's the youth of the side showing through
that's a good
under
point.
Extreme pressure.
That's a good point.
And we have a situation here. I think China have just blown the game.
Okay, no one would have picked the Chinese to be in the final, all right? The USA should have been here. Australia Gold should have been here. The Chinese had sent a very young team here, but they played immaculate softball. They've earned their way in here. They've dominated the game for 9 innings, and now it hit the fan.
I can't understand why they put the ball on the outside of the plate, and Nadia Clark, a renowned right center field hitter, hitting behind the base runners. That gave Earnshaw a free ride to
in
the plate.
comes Earnshaw, off goes Clark. There, it's Timu around 2. Now, this is where the girl, if she'd thrown it, she would have nailed her at third base. She runs the ball in. Then I think what happens is they started arguing. They said, why didn't you throw it to 3? And while they're arguing, Timu says, thank you very much. And she tap dances home.
Absolutely.
Now, the Chinese are arguing. They are saying that
All right. Okay, let's go. All right, let's go.
Well, maybe they were looking for a runner's interference on sighting of the ball going between 1 and 2. I don't see how it could be. It was an outfield hit.
Well,
it didn't touch the fielder.
But you don't debate it while someone's running around the bases. You debate it later. So
Exactly
I
right.
think they must have thought that the umpire called time, or no, I just cannot fathom what it is. I'm sure we will know after the game is over what happened, but now we are totally in the dark. The result is that New Zealand has a 2-0 lead. They will want to build on that. There we go. That's a sacrifice. Okay, the runner is now down to 2. That was a very excellent infield sacrifice hit then to move Nardi Clark down to 2. Who was that at bat? I've lost.
That was Gabrielle Spark in
Oh,
the
that's our
batter's
Southlander
box.
doing her job again.
Pushing it down. And Marshall, we've just had word that the actual call was Timu was attempted interference and prevented the second base from actually cutting down that hit before.
So was there only 1 run count?
No. That's what the Chinese were querying.
They were claiming interference. Well, maybe later, maybe at the end of the innings or something like that, we could see on that hit from Clark. I don't think so, because it was an opposite ball field hit. So we'll be very lucky if we manage to see it into right field. No, I'm sorry, but we haven't got the replay because it was an opposite field hit. But obviously they were claiming interference. But what they'll learn, and I think they'll never forget it, is that you do not debate it while you have a runner on. The situation now is that there is only 1 out. And
Linda O'Kane in the box.
O'Kane in the box, and we have Clark on 2, and New Zealand will want to build on this. Remember, it's very easy for China to score 1 run back because they have the advantage of the tiebreak and a runner on 2. Oh, it's a bad bunt. O'Kane will be on.
Well, O'Kane will be called out there, attempting to bunt on 3rd strike. The ball went foul. She's automatically out.
I'm very sad about that because it builds the sort of legend of lethargy that marks the New Zealanders saying we don't bunt on 3rd strike. Why not? All you're saying is that you don't back your batter. That's why New Zealanders don't bunt on 3rd strike.
And Leslie Monk had a safe hit last turn of bat to right field. If she can hit right center again, we'll score Nardi Clark from 2nd. That was the one to have a go at.
Yeah, actually, I would back her now. The Chinese have been knocked They had the dominance in this game for 9 innings. Now, I could see another error here if she can just get good bat to ball.
1-1.
Well, it was a good pitch. They know that Leslie hit to right field last time, and they jammed her up on the inside, and she was nearly tempted to have a go at that ball. But I can imagine what the team talk's going to be like at the end of this inning, Marshall. New Zealand's going to say, you have a run, we don't care, we'll take the ball game 2-1, and they'll concentrate on taking out.
There's a hit into right field. She'll be happy to have made the third. Look at, she throws the ball angrily into the turf. The right fielder is just absolutely furious.
I think we'll find that Gina Weber's going to find just another 2 ounces of energy all of a sudden in the middle, Marshall.
I would say that she's gone from 6-2 to 7-2 at the moment. That's what she's been hoping for, is for her team, the other 8 members of that team, to do their job and get her a lead. And she's been under intense sort of pressure. Hey, now look who's in the bat, though.
That's Chun-Lan Lee.
And there's an error.
That's costly.
That's an error. That is very bad.
That's costly.
Now, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. We just assumed this ball game was over, but it isn't. We now have a runner on 3, so they don't have to sacrifice. So this runner can now bat freely. She doesn't need to bunt anymore. She's hit 3 out of 4.
This is the designated hitter, Chun-Lan Yi. And if there's a batter that you can have in there that's batting 3 from 4, you are happy.
The best batter here at the moment. Now, there are 2 strikes on her. She'll be very anxious to move the ball. Ooh, good rise ball by Gina. Why not? Only 1 ball on her.
I think that's dangerous. I have to think that they've got to go down. I can't understand they're putting a rise ball in there for king hit high.
Too good. She's too good. There it is. They'll score her. They just want the out of 1, and they didn't get it. Oh, hey. Oh, no.
That's a good out. Now, New Zealand effectively have no runners on base. They've got 1 down.
I'm sorry, I thought she was safe.
No, I think you'll find that's a good call.
Well, here it comes. Here comes the throw. Here comes the runner, and she is, you're dead right, she was out. She was out, just.
Now, New Zealand have nothing to worry about. No base runners on. 1 down. They need 2 outs.
And there's a hit. What do you mean it's gone? It's gone against the fence. I think it's terrific. Go, China, go. You dominated the game. She's safe on 3. Well, that's terrific. And the crowd are applauding. The crowd here, that's probably the most noise they've made today. I would like to see the Chinese tie this game up, so we find out in the 11th who's the best team, because that last inning didn't really count. I mean, it was just after a week of the best softball ever played in this country. Wouldn't you agree? 1-0 games?
Absolutely. There's no 2 ways about that.
Okay, after the week of the best softball ever played, I don't want to see it won on that kind of situation. I want the Chinese to tie the game up. Then let's see who's the best.
Well, Siu King Liu on 3rd base. Hadn't had a hit all game and comes up trumps. We've got Ying Wang in the box, hasn't had a hit this ball game.
Okay, it's 1 out. What about the squeeze bunt? Tie it up. Ooh, that was almost away. Backhanded stop by Captain Leslie Monk then. That was a terrible pitch from Gina.
Well, we've already had 1 pass ball in this inning. The one thing that they cannot afford is another one. 2 strikes, 1 ball.
I would go with the bunt here to score her. No. Let her get her breath back and then give the... How many strikes on her?
We've got 2 strikes and 1 ball on the batter, Marshall.
Well,
so Gina and Leslie are definitely ahead of the batter. They've just got to make sure of it. Nothing that can be hit. They're going low and outside.
That's exactly...
Yes.
Pulled her out. Now that makes 2 outs. This has never been seen before. It worked the last time. Let's see if they can do it again. What they're saying is that the Chinese are concentrating on an infield hit. I don't think it makes as much sense this time as it did the last time.
Oh, yes, it does.
Well, that's the winning run on 1. If it goes up against the fence, this game is over. You thought about that? If it goes up to the fence, the game is over. This girl has to go long handle now. Both infielders are in. Where's she going to pitch?
Oh, That was nearly a pass ball. Jen's a little bit under pressure here. I think she's just tightening up a little bit and trying to steer the ball. She needs to be confident. Just get in there and do a job. We're going low and inside.
I think the coach might be a bit too cute. I don't know. I don't think it was the time for this. It was the time just to calm everything down. I hope you proved me wrong, Ed.
Well,
and it's a brave man, and that's been the mark of Ed all week, hasn't he? He's called it, he's made the tough calls, and he's doing it again.
Absolutely. She's grounded out to second base twice and popped up to the infield once. So it is the right call. She's not an outfield hitter.
He's looking at the book. He's looking at the book. And there we see foul ball almost into the glove. It went into the glove and bounced out again. What's the count? I've lost track. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This is when Gina Weber says to herself, I'm one pitch away from being a hero and winning a ball game for New Zealand, or one pitch could kill me.
Well, actually, with the exception of Kevin Hurley, no one in New Zealand would know that statement better than you, Cheryl.